So you want to play the very first Legend of Zelda game, but you don't know where to start. Maybe you've heard the game's super dated and it's hard to play because of its ambiguous game mechanics and dated controls, but I'm here to help you out because I think this game's actually pretty great and it's 100% worth checking out, especially if you're already a fan of the Legend of Zelda series. So first of all, what console should I play this game on? Well, I'm going to give an answer that I think a lot of people won't like, but the answer is via emulation on PC. Specifically the Mezen emulator, because from the research I've done, it does seem that this is the best NES emulator out there. I've also played through the entirety of Zelda multiple times with this emulator, and I've never had any issues personally. It runs perfectly. One of the biggest pros of playing on an emulator is the inclusion of save states and the rewind feature, which is obviously also included on the Nintendo Switch Online version of the game, and that's also a fine way to play the game. It's just that that version requires a monthly payment, and also emulation lets you do something that I'll cover later on in the video, so that's why I'm going with emulation. Now, to play Zelda on an emulator, you're going to have access to a ROM of the game. Now, I'll leave a link to Mezen, the emulator, in the description, but obviously I can't give you a ROM of the game because, well, that would be illegal. So you're going to have to either dump your copy of Zelda onto the PC, or, I don't know, maybe you're going to have to resort to some other method. Maybe you're going to have to get in your boat and sail the high seas, perhaps. Obviously, I don't condone that, but that is an option. Not that I would know, because I'm not into illegal stuff. I'm not a criminal. Now, with that question answered, obviously you can just load up your ROM of the game on Mezen, jump in and see how far you'll get. But I definitely don't think that's the best experience you can have, and you'll probably end up hating the game if you play it like that. My biggest recommendation that I'd give to literally anyone playing this game for the first time on any console is to just go ahead and read through the official game manual that came with The Legend of Zelda on release. It gives you so much useful information, such as what the different enemies are, what the different items do, and most importantly, it gives you a map that lays out a large majority of Hyrule for you, and it marks a few areas containing secrets, and it even shows you where the first 4 of 9 dungeons are. Which might not sound like much, but that's actually a huge help from the start. It makes the start of the game feel so much less aimless. Now with that, you probably can jump into the game, complete the game, and you're probably going to have a good time from there. You might get stuck a couple times, but honestly, I'd say don't be afraid to look up guides for certain things if you get stuck for too long. This game, it can get a little complex, but I still wouldn't consider this the optimal experience personally. Personally, I like to run a ROM hack called Zelda Redux. Now, if you don't know what a ROM hack is, it's basically a mod for games that run in the ROM format. Zelda Redux is a ROM hack that adds just a bunch of quality of life fixes to The Legend of Zelda to make it, in my opinion, just a better video game. I mean, if you go to the post of Zelda Redux, you can see how long this changelog is. A lot of it will be stuff you don't even notice, but there are some huge changes here, such as adding cracks to bumper walls and making the radius of your sword swings slightly wider, things that just make your game feel better and will mean that you're even less inclined to search up external help during your playthrough. Now maybe you're looking through the changes and you generally like the hack, but it just changes the game up a little too much for you, or maybe you just don't like some specific changes the hack makes. Well, luckily the hack is actually customizable. There are optional files you can apply to add and remove changes you specifically like and don't like, which I think is very cool. And there you go, that's everything I think a new player needs before heading into The Legend of Zelda. This obviously wasn't a hugely complex video, but it doesn't need to be. You know, this game actually stands up very well with just a little bit of help when you consider this game is almost 41 years old. In a bit over a month from this video's release, this game is going to be 41 years old, which is just crazy to me. It's aged so well. But yeah, that's all from me. I hope this video was helpful to you, and I hope you all have a great time with the game. Feel free to leave a like if this video was helpful so it shows up for other people who might need it. And yeah, in a bit.